Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be going through all the books I read in November and then also doing my December TBR. So I read 3 books in November. They were all on my TBR from last month, so that's great. I feel really accomplished in the fact that I didn't stray from my path of what books I wanted to read. So I ended up reading Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. I gave this 3.25 stars. The 2.5's probably not that important, but it felt important at the time. It's a short book. It's only, let's see, I think it's only 307 pages. So not long, pretty short. I think the thing is you either love or you hate Sally Rooney's writing. I like her writing, but her topics that she writes her books on aren't always my favorite. So I read Normal People and I liked Normal People a lot. Conversations with Friends, not as much. It's not the fact that there's no quotation marks. I know that's some people's things, but my problem is that the topic, so this is about a girl who ends up having an affair with this older guy who's married. And I'm not a fan of age gap romances. I'm not a fan of the affair topic, trope, whatever it's called, because this isn't a romance book, so I don't really want to call it a trope. I thought it was really interesting to read. I would recommend it to certain people. I would not recommend it to all people. I think if you're into a little artsier, wanting to pick up a Sally Rooney book, or you like Normal People and you're just curious, I would pick this up. If you are not sure if you want to read Sally Rooney, I wouldn't start with this one. I would start with Normal People, and then if you really like Normal People, then you can read this one. I only say that because I don't think this one is as good. The storyline isn't as interesting. You don't like the characters as much. 3.25 stars. I liked it. I'd recommend it. I do not think it's for everyone, but I love the way she writes. Yeah, you go into this book for the writing. You don't go into the book for the plot. There is no plot to begin with. It's mainly just people being people. That's really what it's about. It's not about a plot. So if you're a plot person, don't pick that up. So after Conversations with Friends, I read Iron Flame. Iron Flame is 623 pages. I will link my in-depth review down below or in the thing wherever it's supposed to go. Iron Flame, overall, I liked it. 4 stars. Some people really hated it. I enjoyed it. I liked the ending. It was an okay sequel to the first one. I liked the first one better, but I think that's typical. I would recommend it. If you read Fourth Wing and you're curious, read it. If you haven't read Fourth Wing, then read Fourth Wing, then read this one. But if you're read Fourth Wing and you didn't love it, you're probably fine skipping this. And then the last book I read was Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have mixed feelings about this book. I read Beach Read 2 years ago, and I did not like it. It was something that it just didn't vibe with me. I know it's some people's favorite books, and I feel bad about it, but it wasn't for me. I read this one because I heard so many good things about it. I heard it was kind of about the friendship dynamics, and it ended up being a 3 stars for me. I felt there was a lot going on, and not enough was explored with certain aspects, if that makes sense. So Happy Place by Emily Henry is about this girl named Harriet and her ex-fiance Wynn. And every summer, they go to Maine with a bunch of their college friends. But the difference this year is that Harriet and Wynn have broken up and they just haven't told any of their friends yet. So they're pretending to be together for the entirety of the week that they're there. And then at the end of the week, they're going to break it to their friends. Or later on, they're going to. But it's kind of that second chance romance kind of vibe, with a lot of the changing friendship dynamics sprinkled in the background. I like this, and if you like Emily Henry, go ahead. I didn't hate this. I liked it. I'm not against reading another one of her books, but I just don't think she's for me, which is horrible because I really want to be on the Emily Henry train. But overall, I'm happy I read it. The main complaint that I had was I felt there was too much shoved into the ending, and different topics that weren't really explored for earlier on in the book. I think if you read it, you kind of know what I'm talking about. There's like stuff that's just shoved in towards the end that I was like, oh, we could have spent a lot more time on that. And I would have liked that more in between the pages. So those are all the books I read in November. I did start Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I'm only 40 pages into this. Yeah, this book's only 330 pages. I'm planning to get to page like 150 today. It's super cute right now. It's super cute. I probably won't be able to finish this before December, which is in 2 days. I'm excited to finish it in December. The next book kind of on my TBR is the collected poems of Sylvia Plath. I got this summer when I was in Scotland. Yeah, I got this summer when I was in Scotland. I loved The Bell Jar when I read it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. The Bell Jar is the only book that Sylvia Plath's novel that Sylvia Plath has ever published. So I kind of want to work my way through her poetry just to get an idea of like what her style was there. But I'll let you know what I think of summer poetry at the end of the month or at the end of the year, whichever. The next book I want to read in December, or I'm hoping to get through in December because nonfiction books take me a while, is Quiet by Susan Cain. I love this cover. I don't know if you can see, but the Quiet has this like sheen to it and the rest of the book is like matte. I saw someone talk about this book on TikTok a while ago. This is another book that is still on my TBR from when I went to Scotland this summer. But the way they kind of described, the way the TikTok described this made it sound super interesting. So I'm excited to read this. Nonfiction is not typically what I lean towards, so I'll be interested to know more about this. Normally I only read nonfiction when it's like an audiobook. I find then it's kind of like a podcast, which is nice. And last but not least, on my TBR this month is Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City, House of Blood and Earth. Wait, House of Earth and Blood. I, this year, have finished all of ACOTAR, all of the Throne of Glass series. So all I have left in the, like, Sarah J. Maasiverse is Crescent City 1 and Crescent City 2. And then in January, the third one comes out. So I want to be kind of, like, on it. So I want to read this. It's a chunker. It's so long. Most of her... Well, I take it back. Her other series start out short and get longer. This one's just really chunky. Let's see. It's 799 pages. So this is pretty long. It is shorter than Kingdom of Ash. So that's the good news. I can't remember how long Nesta's book is. So in a couple weeks, my husband and I are going to go to Denver to see his family. So I'm planning on bringing this on the plane so I can have like a long chunk to like read it. But I think I'll start it before then for sure. I've seen a lot about this. I'm excited to read it, but I am a little nervous because people say that it doesn't get interesting until literally halfway through. So I think it's going to be powering through until I get to the second half. Those are all the books I read in November and all the books I'm planning on reading in December. I thought this would be just like one good combined video since I didn't read a ridiculous amount. I think I read a normal amount. But I think last month I did them separately and they both came out to like 4 minutes each, which are short and easy for people to consume, but I feel like I like watching longer videos, so this seemed like a better way to combine them. And let me know what you're reading next month and what your favorite book of last month was in the comments below. Okay, well, I will see you guys later. Bye!